Alright guys, this is our CBA review and we're going to get right into it. So, this scientific notation, remember anytime you have all the zeros behind the decimal point, it's going to be to the negative power. So let's go ahead and do our loops. 1, that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 8. So our decimal point will go there. So that number will be 6.59. Excuse that scraggliness, and that's going to be times 10 to the negative 8, making that one B. Okay. Next question. Thomas borrowed $15,000 to purchase a new car. He was charged 7% annual simple interest rate. How much will he save if the loan was for 8 years instead of 8.5? Okay, so this is a simple interest problem, but we're doing some comparisons here. Okay, so if you're looking at this problem, first of all, we have simple, right? So we know that's going to be the I equals PRT. So what we need to do here, I'm going to do a text box. And you're going to have 15,000 or 15,500. That's our principal. Our rate is 0.07. And our time, we have two different times. The time is going to be 8 years. And then I'm going to do the second one next to this. The P is still 15,500. The rate is still going to be 0.07. And then here our time is going to be 8.5. Okay? So there are our two comparisons, because we're doing a comparison. Because the question is, how much will he save if it's for 8 years and instead of 8.5? All right, and I'm moving it up to number 1 just so I can have space to work. So what we're going to do here is we will do our 15,500 times 0.07 times 8. Equals, and then we have our 15,500 times 0.07 times 8.5. All right, and that will be equal to. And so I'm going to go to my Desmos calculator and do this calculation. Look like I didn't clear my Desmos, but that's fine. 15,500 times 0.07 times 8, and it tells me that that's 8,680. 8,680. And then, because I'm gonna be lazy and I don't feel like retyping this, I'm just gonna put the 8.5 there. And that second one is 922. See, that's 922.5. Okay, and I'm using two different computers on this, so those numbers magically appeared because I'm magic like that. But okay, so those are those two. The next thing that you're going to do, because the question is how much will he save, is if it was for 8 years instead of 8.5. You're basically going to take those two, the 922 point, I don't know why I keep doing it, 0.5, and you're going to subtract the 8680. And I've already done that math, and the answer is 542.50 is your answer. Okay? So that's how we work that problem. All right? And I think I'll bring this down as well, so that that's right there by number 2. Okay? Moving on to number 3. Brian starts an account with $15,200 with 5% interest compound annually. How much money will he have in this account? Now, this problem, we have our principal. We have that it's compound interest. in the question, how much money will he have in this account? How much money? What am I looking for in this problem? Am I looking for the interest or am I looking for the total amount? Well, it doesn't ask a question about interest. Remember, I told you guys to ask yourself, where in this problem is it asking me for interest? And it's not. So I'm looking for the total amount. All right, so this is a one-step problem. Our principal is 15 to 200. Our rate is 0.05. And our time is 10. Please remember to make sure you manually calculate your rate, whether you have 5 like this and you do 1, 2, 0.05, or whether you divide 5 by 100 to get that. Do not guess on that. Make sure you do the work and you do it correct. Alright, so now I'm going to go ahead and put this into our formula, which is A equals P parentheses 1 plus R raised to the, raised to the power of time. So that will be the 15,200 parentheses 1 plus 0.05 close parentheses, and we're going to raise that to the 10th power. Alright, and we're now going to go to our calculator and perform that math. So we have our 15,200. Here's my parentheses. 1 plus 0.05. Close my parentheses. And I'm going to raise that to the power of 10. And by the way, that would have been this option here. Or you can put control caret in decimals and it'll do it as well. And it tells me that the answer here is 24,759 point. And it says 198, right? But that 8 will tell that 9 to go up. That 9 is going to tell that 1 to go up. And so that ultimately round off to 20. And let's go back to here. And we see that our answer is D. Okay? And let's move this guy up here with this problem. I'm going to move this information over. Alright, so now we have, and I'm going to use a text box. Got 3.8. Okay? And that's times to the -4, so that number should be getting smaller. If you do your work and that number gets bigger, then you went the wrong way. You can see that number is getting bigger. That's not right. That's what I told you guys in class. We need the loop, and that number needs to get smaller because it's to the -4. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. Remember, that does not mean how many zeros you put in. All right, now let's go back and count. That's 0. That's 1, 2. That's 3 zeros after the decimal point. So we got 0.3 zeros. And then 38, which is 0.123. That answer is C. Now, please remember, ladies and gentlemen, if you do it wrong, they will have an answer waiting for you. All right? I'm going to go on to the next page, and I'm going to do a couple more. And then I'll stop, and I'll do a second part to this. And my slide is loading. I'm going to pause it while it loads. All right, so I'm going to do this one, and then I will end it. So the next question is, the total cost of attending a community college is $5,800 for the first year, and the student's parents is going to pay half his cost. That's important information for us to know. It says half the cost. All right, so the band scholarship is going to pay for another $2,000, and the question is, which is the closest to the minimum that the student will need to save every month in order to be able to pay the remaining balance at $12,000. Okay, so this is one that I didn't necessarily get to, but this is a really straightforward problem. Okay, so looking at this problem, what do we have? Well, we know that it costs $5,800 to go to school. Okay. And we know that the parents are going to pay half the cost. All right. So if the parents are going to pay half the cost, then we know that 5,800 has to be divided by 2. Okay. And that equals, and so we go to our Desmos and we're looking at this. We got the 5,800 and we're going to divide that by 2. So that means that the remaining balance is 2,900, right? So what do we know next? And bear with me, my internet is acting really, really slow. There it is. Got it. All right. So what do we? Okay. So what else do we know? All right. So out of the 2,900, we know that a band scholarship is going to pay for 2,000. So there's 2,900 minus 2,000, and we really don't need a calculator for that. The answer to that is going to be 900. So we know that the student is going to be responsible for paying $900 of this total amount. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do 900 divided by 12. And that should get us our answer. Let's go to our Desmos. And we got 900 divided by, I put a question mark, divided by 12. And it tells us the answer is 75. Let's go here. We look, 75 is at one of our answer choices. Yes, it is. All right, so that's the first set of questions. I'm going to post a second video with the second set of questions. All right.